Hello, very warm welcome. Let's talk about the 57-year-old Taki Inoue, an icon, a legend, probably for all the wrong reasons. I absolutely love this guy. This guy, Taki Inoue, a Japanese icon. People have made videos about Taki Inoue being the worst F1 driver ever. And Taki Inoue has actually gone on YouTube videos and he's had a laugh. He's had banter with them. And I love that about Taki Inoue. He openly admits that he was the worst F1 driver, but he tried his best. And that's all you can ask. But yeah, he's got to be up there with one of the worst F1 drivers. His best known moment in Formula 1 was getting hit by the safety car when his car... He went to get the fire extinguisher. The safety car was coming. He ran across it, took him out. Absolute legend, Taki Inoue. And yeah, we continue our series of worst F1 drivers. And today we have Taki Inoue. We've covered Luca Badoa. Luca Badoa, Carter Cayan. And now it's Taki Inoue's time. And I genuinely do think Taki Inoue is up there with the worst. This guy, absolute legend. 5th of September 1963, Taki Inoue was born, and he's 57 years of age. Inoue was born in Kobe. He competed in the British Formula 4 Championship in '88, followed by a spell in All Japan Formula 3 from '89 to '93, and in the season in the International F3 Championship in '94. So his F1 record, he had 18 starts. 1994 he drove for Simtek and he debuted at the Japanese Grand Prix where he retired. In 1995, he drove for Footwork with a best result of 8th at Italy. Just got his results up here. So we had 17 races in the 1995 season, and the Footwork car must have been very unreliable because the first 5 races, retire. Now, is that down to mechanical or was Taki Inoue crashing? I do believe on his debut in 1994 at the Japanese Grand Prix, within 3 or 4 laps, he did crash in the race. I'm going to actually click on it. Oh, shit. Internet cable's come out. Need it to fire back up. Bloody hell. Just waiting. I unplugged the bloody Ethernet cable. I have really poor internet on my laptop. I don't know why. So yeah, we've got retire. Let's go back to Japan in 1994. I believe he crashed on lap 4 or something. And Taki Inoue, he's a legend. Not only does he openly admit that he was quite a bad driver. Right, here we go. Taki Inoue. Lap 3, he spun off, according to this. So yeah, he spun off on his debut. I knew it was around lap 3, 4. And then 95, he's got such poor reliability. Was it reliability or was he crashing? 5 retirements. Then he finished 9th in Canada, followed by 4 more retirements. Belgium, 12th. Italy, 8th. His best finish in Formula 1. Portugal, retire. Japan, 12th. Oh, Taki Inoue, what a legend. Yeah, he's openly on Twitter. He's been talking. He's been saying Mazepin could take his mantle as the worst F1 driver. It's banter. It's great to see. I absolutely love that about Taki Inoue. That he he's not delusional about his F1 experience. He openly admits that he was bad, but he tried his best in Formula 1. He got to do 18 races in Formula 1. That's more than most people. But yeah, Taki Inoue, the worst F1 driver ever? Quite possible. But an absolute legend, an icon of Japan. And his best known moment in Formula 1 was getting hit by the safety car. Oh my god. Imagine getting hit by the safety car. But Japan, I mean, they've got a knack for racing. They produce good drivers. Look, we've got another driver from Japan coming up on this list. Someone's requested Nakajima, Ide. We're covering Inoue at the minute, but they've brought through good drivers. Takuma Sato, top level F1 driver. Very successful in IndyCar. Kobayashi stood on the podium at his home race. We've got to cover Nakajima. Now we've got Yuki Tsunoda, who looks absolutely fantastic. Scored points on his debut. I mean, Taki Inoue had 18 races in Formula 1. Tsunoda scored points on his debut. Obviously, the point system is different back then. So Taki Inoue, 57 years of age. He drove for Simtech and Footwork and had 18 starts. His first entry, 1994 Japanese Grand Prix. His last entry, 1995 Australia. Australia used to be the last race, didn't it? Now it's the first race. Obviously not with the COVID times though. He participated in 18 Formula 1 Grand Prix, making his first appearance on the 6th of November at the Japanese Grand Prix for Simtech. He scored no championship points and was considered a paid driver. His best known moment, two bizarre incidents while driving for Footwork in 1995. The first occurred after a practice session at Monaco when he stalled his car. When his stalled car was taken and being towed back to the pits, it was hit by a course car driven by Gian Ragnotti, causing it to roll into the barriers. And the second happened live on worldwide TV at the Hungarian Grand Prix. He was actually being helpful, trying to get the fire extinguisher to put out the fire, and he literally ran in front of the safety car and it hit him. Most of the season, Gianni Morbidelli was his teammate, but Morbidelli was later replaced by Max Papis. Now, I know a lot about Formula 1, but I have never heard of Max Papis. And Taki Inoue was regularly outqualified by quite a distance. I mean, I was looking at one of the races, 2 seconds difference to Morbidelli. Entering the 1996 season, Taki Inoue was lobbied for a Tyrrell drive, but the sponsorship from his... Look here, entering this 96 season, Inoue was in line for a Tyrrell drive, but the team chose Katayama with his mild 7 sponsorship from the Japan Tobacco. Instead, he was announced in January to drive for Minardi. However, one of his personal sponsors pulled out at the last minute, and Inoue withdrew from F1. Minardi took on Fisichella. What a legend. So, we've got 1994 Supernova Racing. I mean, the results are as follows. We've got 8 rounds, no points again. 15th, retired. 13th, 12th, 14th, 9th. And then his F1 career. He debutises for Simtech at his home Grand Prix. And then 95 with Footwork. Taki Inoue. Wow. But this is a key point now. The last paragraph here. He is also known for his sense of humour, as Taki Inoue has publicly proclaimed himself as the worst driver in Formula 1. He openly admits it, and he had no idea what a pit stop was. And in an interview with Top Gear, he actually was on Top Gear, he said he wasn't good enough to drive in F1, but he gave it his best. I mean, you've got to give him credit. I mean, he's not hiding away from the fact that that he knows he was a bad driver. He wasn't up to the standard of Formula 1, but he tried his best. He got 18 races in, and it's 18 more races than most of us watching this video. And I love that about Taki Inoue, that people have actually said, Taki Inoue, worst F1 driver ever. And he's openly in the comments saying, I try my best in Formula 1. I love my experience in Formula 1. And he's actually, I love that he's actually interacting and commenting. He's definitely, I mean, we've started this new series. I still need a name for it. So if you do have any ideas for a name for this series, comment down below. We've covered Bedoya, Carter Inoue. So far, Taki Inoue is definitely the worst driver in Formula 1. Can we find one to top him? I mean, it's funny. He was commenting on Twitter, talking about Tsunoda, saying Mazepin could take his mantle for the worst F1 driver. It's just top banter by the iconic legend that is Taki Inoue. He may not go down as a world champion or a race winner, but he will always be remembered for the guy who got run over by the safety car. What a legend. What a goat. Taki Inoue. What a legend, man. What a guy. What a legend. Oh, my God. Yeah, I do have quite a few requests. So, yeah, we've got E-Day to do. Nakajima. I have a list written down. E-Day, Nakajima. Who was another one? Yeah, I've got my list here. E-Day, Nakajima, Rosset, Haryanto, Palmer. Yeah, and there's many more. But, yeah. Taki Inoue. I think we found the worst F1 driver. And he openly admits that he was bad. Wow. What a legend. Absolute GOAT.